Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Flexline Productions as we bring you the first annual West Mobile County Open. Brand new course installed, and we got an event on it pretty quickly. I'm Dustin Mouret, and I'll be bringing you some commentary, and I won't be alone. I'm going to have Chase Bowen with me. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you, Dustin?
Doing great. Also do some coverage here for a local event, and one that you're actually playing in, if I remember that right?
I am indeed. This is actually my first time on film too, so it's gonna be interesting getting to watch myself play while commentating on it as well.
Yeah, I'll let you bring us that inner monologue, give us those insights as we're taking a look at the players we're going to see on the card. We got Jerimie Gates, who really cool dude, does a lot of TDing around here, but also a good player. We got Dustin Angley, also a really good player. I actually played a doubles with him before this tournament. He was doing really well. Then of course you got Rec Rob, and there's yourself.
There I am.
In the flesh.
Yep.
Then we got Matt Givens, All-American, second team.
Mr. Andrew.
That's right. Jerimie Gates going to take the box. Why don't you tell me a little about this first hole?
First hole, short pin, 315, roto be right, power lines, sign, power pole. Basically just a pretty simple hyzer. Just let it fall out there. You got a little gap that you need to kind of get into and hit, but pretty straightforward, honestly.
It's a pretty stock hyzer shot
Yep.
over this road. I mean, obviously you have to kind of watch out for traffic a little bit. And
Agreed. This tee shot took a lot longer than we anticipated when we first got on this box.
I think it was also kind of headwindy this day, if I remember correctly.
It
I was playing it
was.
too. So that's the only thing you really had to worry about was overturning something into the road.
Yep, exactly. As Justin, he led it there a little early. That bad tree kick.
Here's old Rec Rob now playing with MVP.
No, this is the first time playing with Rec Rob, actually, and he's actually a really nice guy.
He is. He's also a content creator.
He is.
Really cool dude.
Indeed. Yep.
See what he's got here. That looks great.
Yep, so that was a pretty good shot from Rob for sure.
I would say this is a pretty easy three, as long as you don't overturn it into the road. But can be a tough two. It's your first hole of the tournament. You're trying to push it, enough forward, but also make sure you get enough hyzer angle. So what are you thinking here?
Yep, basically just kind of do what Gates and Rob both did. Just throw it a little high, try to get over that main first power line you see. A little hyzer, got my semi-over-disable destroyer and just going to throw it out there and, we'll power and let it crash back in, hopefully go by the basket. So I did take a little bit lower of a line than they did, just kind of keep out of that wind. So, and I think it ended up pretty decent actually there.
I feel like the only other thing that can go wrong is if you cut too left off the tee, you do have to scramble a little bit.
It is jail early left off the tee for sure, unless you push further left towards like three's fairway, which is running parallel with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously most of the holes in this course are going to be, pretty wooded. There's only really a couple of open holes. This probably being one of the most open on the course.
Agreed. This is by far that or 18 probably, I would say.
Yeah, that's a great shot there from Mac.
Yep.
As this is probably also like the second longest hole on the course, if I remember correctly, especially in long position.
Yeah, definitely in long pin. Yeah, and definitely one of the top few longer holes in the short pin as well. So, but that just goes to show you. I mean, after seeing these scores, it goes to show you how technical this course really is, even as short as it is.
Yeah, Rec Rob here has a little bit of an open look for birdie, a lengthy putt though, so definitely gonna have to take his time to get it right. That's well done.
Yep, and he came out firing, man. He had me shaking a little bit when he hit that first putt. He was about circle's edge, give or take, maybe just outside, and he canned it.
Yeah, definitely close.
Yep.
Mac also was right there.
Yep, Mac's sitting right there, probably about circle's edge as well. Maybe just inside. My depth perception is not great. That's something I'm trying to work on, Dustin.
Mine is also very bad. A little bit low out of Mac's hands.
Jerimie's got a little straddle out here through the little gap that you kind of got to fight in to get into the basket, which is the same thing.
That's always the classic error, I think, on your first hole is a low putt. Almost always. You're just not quite ready to commit yet.
Agreed. Yep.
But you are.
Yep, I wound up, that was the first putt I was looking for on the first putt of the day of the tournament. It was just a nice little 10, 12-footer to tap in. Still shaky nerves, though, even though it's just a normal, everyday, casual Mobile tournament. It's, got some good players on the card, so definitely want to hit that putt for sure and not doink it.
As everyone else is just kind of cleaning up as we're about to head over to a little bit of a shorter hole, but now we're starting to get into the woods here on hole 2.
Here you go. And this is a fun, technical little shot.
Yeah, it is. Mostly just like a short forehand for all the right-handed players. There is like a backhand hyzer over the ditch, but I do not know why you would ever want to do that because if you get caught up, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and you got OB running all down the ditch, plus it's like probably 25, 30 feet behind the basket, wraps around it. So, yeah, it's not a good play.
Yeah. Usually you see like flip up forehands right out the middle, or you can like flex something really overstable wide left if you want to. There's like a gap over there, but yeah. A rare backhand off the tee here.
And it's actually surprising, too, because Gates has a really, really strong forehand.
Maybe just wanting to play away from that OB right.
Yeah, he actually threw we thought this was going in for a minute until it hit that last tree. We were all telling it to go in. I was talking with Justin, too, before the tournament, and this is his first time on film, and he was definitely a little nerve driven as well. Couldn't really feel like he could get anything going.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate little kick left. Should be able to pitch up for par from there, but that's really taking birdie out of the equation. It's a rare forehand from Matt Givens. Definitely a backhand dominant player.
I was about to say the opposite of what I just said about Gates, for sure.
He also will occasionally break out some really crazy lefty scramble shots that you might see, because he actually, I think, was naturally left-handed, but was a baseball player and a switch hitter, and so throws right-handed in disc golf.
Yeah, I think I've seen him throw a tomahawk and a thumber before. He's got some shots in his bag for sure.
Got that forehand roller left-handed as well to get out of trouble. It's nice to have, like, if you're tangled up on the right-hand side of a fairway, you need to get out. If you can throw anything left-handed, sometimes that works.
Oh, agreed. I've tried to work on it, and I'm just apparently not coordinated with my left hand because it does not work well.
I had the same problem with the right hand, which is also the one that I actually throw with, so it's a real problem.
Right.
As I was playing this tournament as well in the amateur divisions, so it was kind of fun to get to watch all of us intermingle as we see Mac step up for, I believe, a birdie putt. He was kind of testing that OB line, but I'm not sure if he made it to it or not.
I think he did stay in on this. I'm pretty sure. I think he, Chandler was down there watching. He got saved by that little kind of little roll. Yeah, I think he like kind of hit and just sat back, which he was very close to acing as well.
Yeah.
There you go, corrected on that first putt from the first hole. Got the nose up a little bit.
Yeah, he's usually a pretty good putter from playing with him a lot. He putts with like the most obscure putters as well.
Yeah,
I think he was putting with. Yeah, I think he putts with the Invaders now, like the Callie McMorrin. I think that's how you say her name. I'm sorry, but he's trying to change it up because bullfrogs are hard to come by, I would imagine.
They are indeed. Yeah, I don't think they ever made them into stock production. I think they just have basically the protos and a couple like CFR stamp runs that are hard to come across. So.
They're also like the most low profile putters I've ever put in my hand. But he works magic with them, as we see our card cleaning up here. Chase here, 2 down through 2, so hot start.
I will take that all day, every day.
I don't know who wouldn't. Maybe 3 down through 2. I'd take that as well.
Yeah, no, that would have been nice as well. Which honestly, this my first shot, it was a little bit closer to going to the basket than I thought it was. It got a little skip up under the cage.
Here's a touchy little shot, just under 300 feet, and a little bit of Yankee Doodles.
Yeah, that's what we call grip lock. That was yeah. I struggled with this hole too because I threw a couple practice shots on it. And there's just got a forehand line, overstable flex backhand line, straight kind of soft hyzer backhand line. There's a bunch of different shots you can throw on this hole, and just didn't work out for me that time.
Yeah, you can throw like a pretty wide forehand if you just pass the Mando wide left and cut in, but it's really hard to cover the distance.
Yep.
So this shot that we see Mac throwing is pretty much textbook.
Yep, and he got the worst tree kick ever, though. He actually kicked about 70, 80 feet off to the right and kind of back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. We were all kind of shaking our heads on that one.
Yeah, I was throwing like fairway driver low just to try to like avoid tree action and just try to skip up there. But definitely a shot that a lot of people can just hit with a putter or a mid.
Yep, for sure. As I think Rob is going to show you that basically up the gut, straight mid shot, and he kisses an early tree as well.
Yeah, you really got to stay right of that main tree that you see dead center to be able to kind of softly fade out to the basket.
That is the gap for sure. Even when you get closer, there's still some guardians. It's definitely a tough little hole. For sure.
I would say it's one of the more technical holes on the course when you combine distance with, actually a tighter line you have to hit.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely playing about a true 300 with the kind of wide routes you got to take to it. So.
And Jerimie probably got about pin high, but is well off left. Might have a look at something, though.
Yep.
So we're going to see Justin take the tee now. This looks smooth.
Yep. Yeah, Justin put a good move on this one. We were all cheering for that one because he was probably he got the most of the way down the fairway out of all of us. That's for sure.
It looked like he was well in circle one.
I believe he was. He got that late tree kick at the end, and it kind of stopped him. And I chili dipped this forehand so bad, and it got that beautiful tree kick down and left me with a nice little 15-footer for an easy par to get out of this hole.
That's when you have to just claim it's calculated.
It was.
Okay.
I looked at David
There you
whenever
go.
he was filming, and I told him, I said, that was meant to do that.
That's a great upshot there from Mac as well. Should put him for, pretty much an easy tap in for par. Here's that look that Rob has. It's one.
Yep, it is one.
He had a lengthy one on hole one as well. Ooh.
And it was a very, very good bid. That was a long way away. I actually walked back behind Mac before he threw that shot he just threw, and that was a very, very tough up shot. He did that very well.
Gates giving this one a lengthy bid and just short.
Yep.
Yeah, Justin's up here. Probably just edge of circle one, looks like. Just a little low again.
Yep. He was still by this hole. He was telling me after every tee or every hole, he was just like, man, I got to shake this off.
And here you are trying to go get yourself a par, and
Yep.
that's it.
With my signature elevator putt, as a lot of people call it around here, a lot of my local friends.
Take a little bow.
Had some cheers from some guys in the background.
It was a busy day because there's actually like a softball tournament going on at this complex as well. So there's a lot of people around, and a lot of them were really curious about what was going on over here. And also, I had to give a shout out to like the local council was actually super involved in getting this course done for us, and we're super supportive of it. So it was really cool to see.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, this is I'm part of the board here at the in MAGA that we have down here, and to see what the county did in a little bit amount of time they got, man, was pretty cool to see. Matching baskets, tee pads poured, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually found the late gap on this hole. I actually thought I threw a bad shot and sskipped around that big tree you see down there straight, and it actually worked out very well in my favor.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of those forehand shots where you kind of want to keep it low, maybe just kind of flare in. You can definitely try to air it in, but it's a little bit harder. Very touchy, and as you can see, Matt gets caught up because, like you said, there's two gaps. There's kind of a shallow one and a long one. You just got to find one of them.
For sure. They both funnel directly to the basket, so if you hit one, you're pretty much almost a guaranteed birdie.
Yeah, just have to have like either perfect height control if you're staying all air, or you have to get that good skip.
Yep. We actually thought Mac threw the perfect shot, and he just hit the base of that tree and literally just put on the brakes.
Matt coasted in there, but there's kind of like this little ditch, kind of like right after you get to the opening that you can kind of get stuck in sometimes and give you a lengthy putt. So we'll have to see what Rob gets.
Oh, yeah. I remember exactly what you're talking about.
That's great from Jerimie Gates.
Yep, he threw a good shot on this hole for sure. Got Justin Angley. See what he can do here. He's a good forehand player. About the same line Gates took.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Maybe a bit more of a roll than he wanted towards the end. It's going to put him on the back side of the green, but still within circle one. So we'll have a chance to take a look at birdie.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's where Rob got kind of caught up at. He's had a lot of lengthy putts already. He's cashed in on one of them on hole one.
Yeah, I'm about to say he really has. This putter was working for him first round. He was scaring the basket all over the place.
Yeah, I believe he putts with a Nomad. Moving over to MVP.
Yeah, I
on
believe
that
you are
gyroplastic.
correct on that.
I think everyone else pretty much kind of throwing a mixed bag on this card.
Yeah, I'm predominantly throwing in of a little bit of mix of Discmania in there, and I putt with the new EV7 5 putters.
Okay.
Really liking those.
Yeah, I know Mac is very discraft heavy, but I think he throws like some Thought Space Athletics actually,
Yep.
and a little bit of Innova here and there too. And, this man's wearing a Discmania shirt, so I'm going to take an assumption that maybe, just maybe, he throws a little Discmania.
Yep, he is basically Discraft, and Discmania is what his bag is mostly full of. He's a Discraft Discmania head for sure.
Also, Tomahawk Dies out here sponsoring a lot of people. And I think the owner was actually, Mac's brother, JT Givens, who was actually caddying for him at the tournament. So it's cool to see him out there.
He was, and I'm actually part of it.
Indeed. Got the hat and everything. Oh, look at that donk. This guy.
I was messing with Mac about the mini he gave me right there. I asked him if I could keep it.
Okay.
Making sure he knew it was safe keeping in my back pocket.
Jerimie
Gates
will
finally
catch him.
knocking down his first birdie.
There you go.
See if he can get something rolling here.
Yeah, you definitely want to score early on this course. I feel like it gets more technical as you go, and also the OB becomes more of a factor the deeper you get into the course.
Yeah, they strung this OB very, very, very tight on these next couple fairways you're going to see up here coming, but honestly for good reason, because I feel like if it wasn't you, this would have been a way, way more high scoring tournament. Probably wouldn't have been as much score separation as there is, as there was, should I say.
Exactly. So we are about to head over to hole 5. Another just kind of short, straight shot, but definitely some trees to contend with here.
Yep. Throwing my Star Invader here. This is my absolute favorite disc in my bag. I bagged an ace with that disc about the first 4 days of owning it, so it has been my go-to for anything 290 and in, just on basically any angle you want to throw it on.
So we got Gates here looking to try to pipe one down and maybe a little nose up, kind of hyzering out early. He seems to be a huge fan of that shot as he walks off the tee pad.
We gave him a big high five after that one. He was so excited for it.
I bet. As you have to understand that we're all local Mobilians, all kind of just know each other pretty well, and so just having some good times as we are going to see a nice shot here from Dustin.
Yeah, this was tracking for a minute, and he just put a little bit too much hot sauce on that one and just kept carrying past the basket.
That's fair enough, as we're going to have Matt Gibbons step up. Probably throwing his pure. I know he likes to use that for straighter shots, hyzer flip. Kind of what this hole requires.
Yes, it does.
That'll do.
Yeah, he put a great move on that one. That disc left his hand and got to the basket so fast, and it was so low to the ground, it was just there and then there.
A little standstill here for Rec Rob. Probably a putter of some sort.
Oh. Catching one of the late trees that if you beat those, you're, like I said, guaranteed birdie pretty much if you're taking that straight line right there.
Yeah, it's just that patch of 3 kind of in the dead center of the fairway that you have to pick one side of. As, Gates is pin high, but way down here.
I actually got fortunate, though, because he's got OB about probably 10, not even 10 steps behind him. As you can see, those white flags. If he would have rolled down that hill, he would have been going for 3 from right there.
Yeah, I think that's like hole 6's fairway and also kind of runs alongside, I think, 16's fairway, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yep, you are correct.
A little low putt there from Rec Rob means he's going to have to settle for par. This is a long putt, as, like you said, Justin went pretty deep. Had an accurate shot, but just a little bit too much steam. But trying to see if he can still get something, and hits the band.
Yep, that was a great putt from Justin. Good commitment for sure. I always tell myself that if I hit cage, I feel like I didn't commit. If I hit band, at least I gave it a chance.
Wise words there from Chase, as we are going to see Matt hit the chains, which is the most preferred piece of metal you'd like to hit on the basket.
Agreed, 100%.
And stay inside of it would be the other one. Just the expert analysis you can't get anywhere else.
Only here, folks.
That's right.
Mobile's finest.
Indeed. As Chase is looking a little hot right now. 4 down through 5, I think.
Yep, I was feeling myself pretty good, and then I was definitely happy with it. I could not complain at that point in time. I was just trying to maintain a cool head because, like I said, this is a second MPO tournament I've competed in. I'm a fairly higher ranked advanced player and played in a couple tournaments. Finally won a couple, so I decided to move up this year, and it's my second one playing, so just trying to maintain a little bit of pressure as I throw a very mediocre rolled over off axis torque forehand, hoping for the skip back, but stays OB, unfortunately.
Yeah, you will see occasionally players kind of just go straight up the middle with a backhand if they really just don't like throwing forehands, but that forehand line out wide left is just right there.
Oh, it's definitely the shot. I had my Star Invader in my hand and that Destroyer in my hand, and I just could not bring myself to throw up that tiny little gap you see there right up the middle, especially with OB all down the right. One kick and you're just done, which, I mean, OB left as well, but you have less room for error with the forehand line over to the left.
This is looking like it's going to get enough stability here at the end of its flight to skip over towards the basket. And yeah, it's a great shot, almost parked.
Yeah, I think he was about probably 15 feet, give or take. It was a great shot for Mac.
Especially because I know he's just really starting to work on that forehand. He's kind of, put a lot of time in other aspects of his game, but the forehand's kind of thing he's just really starting to focus on and, putting it out there with tournament pressure on. Not bad.
Agreed. As Jerimie Gates will showcase his dominant forehand power here. with a very, very overstable Firebird.
Yeah, that is well done.
Yep. Great shot from Jerimie. Shout out to JT Givens right there to the left of your screen. Sponsored Tomahawk Dies. If anybody needs a sweet die done, hit up JT Givens with Tomahawk Dies.
Good forehand here from Justin as well. Just needs to make sure that digs before it gets to that right side OB, and it does. Maybe a little short.
He caught a late, small little vine hanging from those trees down there, and it just ruined the flight of that disc. It was terrible.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning, again, this is like pretty much a brand new course at this time. I think the course had maybe only been open for a couple of weeks before this tournament, and so it hasn't really been beat in yet, you know what I mean? Like, so there's still a lot of fresh, you know, shrubs and limbs that'll break down over time.
Yep, agreed. As you see Rob going kind of with that same inside line, and yeah, he pushed a little bit too far right, unfortunately. I think he did end up finding the OB over there all the way down that ditch line, which, I mean, is only, as you see over there to the right side of the basket, 10 feet at most. And this scared me half to death.
I can see why. You were testing the OB there for a second time.
I was not trying to run that. It's hard. I just took that too far out wide right, and my putter did not come back as quick as I wanted it to.
That was a beautiful up there for Dustin. This is a chance for a par save because he got way on down there.
Yeah, he went out just short of pin high. That is one benefit for the OB being that close, is that you can, if you go out anywhere up by the basket, you should generally save your par.
And now we have a couple of birdie opportunities coming up. See who's first to act.
I think Justin's actually out here. We're tapping in his par. Yeah, his bid was a little strong. It was a great bid, but, I mean, he... yeah, I think he went about 15 past, 20 past maybe.
Puts it in.
Yep, and he's finally heating up that putter after the first couple holes, couple cage hits, and shaking off the nerves a little bit. He's finally heating that thing up.
You're going to see Gates here going for his birdie after an excellent forehand off the tee, and that'll find the change just fine. Puts in the 2 under, so now keeping him in the mix. As you're about to leak one to the field, unfortunately, it looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately here, I did have to deal with that OB stroke. It was not fun, but like I said, I kept my head cool. And because I knew up ahead I had a couple of holes that I knew I could take that stroke back on pretty easily.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 4 for you. That'll knock you to 3 under, but still now tied with Mac, actually, for the lead on the card. We're about to head over to hole 7. A very short, touchy shot, especially with the OB on both sides of the fairway.
Yeah, this OB runs so tight up that left side. Any tree at all, you are basically done for.
Oh, wow. What a great forehand, though, from Mac. And I can tell you, these gaps are small. They might not look... Well, they probably look small in film, but they are smaller in person.
Agreed. As you're going to see a Tomahawk PA4 here from Jerimie.
That's an interesting combination of words.
What a shot. And he absolutely... He left it a little short, but we weren't even expecting it to make it that good, so well done, Mr. Gates.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. So you typically want to be just left of that thin tree you kind of see dead center of the screen. You can go even wider left if you want to, like we saw Justin. There is a gap over there as well, but got caught up.
Great second tree from Justin there, because he was definitely heading straight OB after that first terrible tree kick to the left.
Yeah, forehand definitely kind of the throw of choice for most right-handed players on this hole, and that looks pretty good from Rob. Might even be deep. Nah, it's just parked.
Perfect checkup. Yeah, Rob threw a good shot there. I don't know MVP Plastic well enough to know to tell you what he's throwing.
I think that might have been like a plasma entropy or something like that. I think that's generally the upshot disc for forehands from MVP and Axiom.
Sounds about right. I throw my soft tactic here, minimal ground action, wound up just there in front of Mac.
And again, Justin got tangled up, so has to throw a bit of an upshot here to try to get up and down for par, and catches something else, but I think he's still near the basket. Might have a putt. Should have a putt. Oh, yeah, lengthy one.
Yeah, he was not too happy about this. I was talking to him after that ope shot, and he was really hoping to can this one, and he almost does.
Yeah, it's just the top of the cage there, so unfortunate 4 for Justin on this hole. It's one of those holes that when you look at the distance, you're like, man, I really want this, but it is definitely very touchy.
So what's crazy about this hole is as touchy as it is, this is probably one of the most aced holes that has been at this course since it has been put in. I've probably known about 6 or so recorded ace holes on this hole already.
Yeah, someone hit one behind me on the hole when I was playing the next hole during my practice round the day before the tournament.
No. There's been quite a few out there for sure.
Absolutely.
Somebody got a bad kick off the hole running parallel to this fairway. I was doing him a little favor, tossing back to him. Got a little...
A gentleman and a scholar, Chase Bowen here.
Yeah,
that'll do.
That one felt good. Shadow putts are not my strong suit, so yeah, that definitely felt good to make.
Yeah, you and Mac neck and neck after this hole still. Both getting the birdie, so 4 under. Jerimie right there behind you at 3 under. And Robert gets to 2, so just a couple of strokes behind. And this is another tough one, you know, hole 8, short, but there is that OB right.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. Low ceiling. I mean, it's 190 feet, so whatever you throw has to go straight for about 170 feet and then just dive as Mac hits that vine and just gets a terrible kick into the OB, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it is not. I mean, you see how close it is behind the tee pad. It runs that ditch line all the way down that side. It is not fun.
There was like one pocket of inbound straight behind the basket in the ditch, but everything else pretty much in this ditch is going to be OB. And this is a great shot from Jerimie Gates. Just comes in a little short, which is exactly what you want to do. Cuts in with the hyzer angle, and he's got a putt for birdie.
Yep.
And again, because of that pocket of inbounds straight behind the basket, it's not even really a death putt where he landed, which is nice.
Yeah, that OB was so tight behind that basket. Like you said, there's that one little pocket you can find to get lucky and stay in, but there's just so much around the basket. So Rob, let's go a little early here, and
that's a mistake to make, though. Honestly,
it really is with that OB right there. It really is.
So what are you throwing here?
Soft tactic again, actually.
Okay.
Just it's overstable enough. Try to minimize the power. I actually threw a good shot. Here's a little low, and I got caught right in that little pocket that we were just talking about that I was actually safe. And you're going to see me have a very interesting putt here coming up in a few moments.
No spoilers, Chase. That is
I'm
the
not spoiling
cardinal sin.
anything.
Okay. All right.
You will see.
It was close. This is a close shot there from Justin. That's right next to the pin.
Man, this was such a tough call to make for him. We got up here.
And Max still has some work to do. He went OB pretty early due to an unfortunate kick. Just threw his drive a little high. Upshot with the Pure here, trying to nestle nest to the basket. And that is still in bounds. That's that pocket we were talking about.
Yep. Yeah, at least they gave us that little bit of saving grace back there on this hole.
And I mean, a lot of these players have probably not gotten to play this course, but maybe once or twice. And the OB was not there until really the morning of the tournament, I feel like, when we showed up and we saw it all.
Basically. I think I went out the day before, actually, and they were working on painting everything. So, yeah, it was definitely interesting. I didn't get to see all of it, so coming in tournament day, it was pretty fun to see. Rob there just a little low on his putt.
Let's see what you got here.
I think it's actually still on Mac. Yeah.
Okay. It's a little deep on his upshot, but this is his chance to at least try to walk away with a bogey and not take too much damage, and he'll be able to find that.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, not a bad recovery for how early he did go out and how punished this hole is. So this is what I was telling you about. I am literally 6 feet away.
I'm sorry.
Oh, laugh it up, Dustin. It's fine, dude. It's fine.
I'm laughing with you, not at you. 100%.
Oh, I was laughing as I'm smacking my disc on my leg.
I mean, that's a tough one because you threw a great shot, and man, that's rough.
I was not happy about that, and that really made me want to get out in the yard that night and practice nothing but turbo putts from 6 feet away behind a tree limb.
Oh, man.
Jerimie tapping in his nice 2 there, I believe.
Yep. The rest of the car will just kind of clean up and walk away. As now it's you and Jerimie tied with 4 under par, and we're at hole 9, 320 feet. A little bit of a tunnel shot forehand. Need to make sure that you have something that pushes forward enough, but you also need enough hyzer angle to get up this hill.
Yeah, this was a tough little hole, and especially for me, like I said, I'm not a very strong forehand player, so stepping up to this one, it definitely makes me want to think a little bit more about it. So because you got to, as you see, that ditch line to the right, it's very tight off the tee. If you beat that, then you're okay for the 3 save.
Mm-hmm.
As I roll this one over a little bit again.
Yeah, probably pin high,
Got
but
a good skip
wow.
though. Yeah, got a great skip off that fresh, nice cut grass. Thank you to the county for probably cutting that the day before the tournament.
Oh yeah, they were hard at work all week long trying to get this thing ready. But yeah, that was some great ground action to get you there. A little bit of an uphill putt, but at least you have a look at it.
For sure. Yeah, this is such a fun little course to play, man.
Absolutely. This is where like the course feels a little bit less claustrophobic. You know, this kind of like 9 through 11 stretch, you actually kind of get a couple more open shots.
Get to breathe some fresh air.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great forehand as well.
Yep. His is a little higher, so he didn't quite get that skip action that I got. I think mine was because it was a little low. As Mac here lining up probably the most forehands he's ever thrown in his disc golf career.
Yeah, probably
first
so.
9 holes of the tournament.
I think this is an Emperor that he's throwing.
I believe you are correct.
Looks pretty good. Real good.
Yep. Good hyzer control. Just a little short, but it'll definitely do.
And so Rob will keep the forehand streak rolling as, I mean, if you're throwing a backhand on this hole, that you're really making it hard on yourself.
I
as a
tried
right-handed
it.
player. Yeah, that's
Dustin,
tough.
It doesn't work. It's just not you. It's because the low ceiling. You got to take it up high to let it turn in, and you can't quite get it high enough. Rob does a great shot here.
Oh yeah.
But
oh no.
Unfortunate roll away.
At least it kind of stopped. It could have been much worse. I think that was probably his Tesla. I know he likes to use that for forehands. It's like a 9-speed, kind of like a Firebird or something like that from MVP.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Jerimie Gates with a little bit of a lengthy birdie putt here. But at least he has a look at it. In fact, everyone does, really.
Yeah, it's a little awkward stance, too, where he's at, too, because you've got your left foot so dropped down below you, and your right foot sitting so high up on that angle of a hill. So it's kind of tough to commit to the line that you really want to throw.
Great putt, though.
Gates knocks it down. No worries whatsoever.
Not at all. Strutting his stuff as he goes and picks up his putter out the basket. 5 down through 9, so a great way to start the tournament there for Jerimie Gates.
See if Justin here can connect on his 2.
It's a little low.
Yep.
I'm kind of curious what kind of danger he's going to be in deep of the basket. I mean, it's pretty thick back there. Hopefully he has like at least a good look at a par putt coming back.
Yeah, I don't think it was too bad. I can't remember exactly. But there's a little bit of kind of guardian stuff back there that if you hit soft enough, you won't push too deep in.
Here's you for your birdie. Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was going to grab some chains and fall, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too far right. So I was a little disappointed because my putter was feeling good and just couldn't connect on that one. So
Yeah. After a little bit of a downhill roll here, this is what Rob's left with, a little bit of an uphill putt for his birdie, and he'll find the left-hand side. That'll keep him with score.
that low left pocket, as everyone swears that the left side of the basket just doesn't catch, but apparently likes my putters because all my bottom left putts catch.
There you go. Heard it here first. It's Mac.
With the CTP here.
Yep. Proud of that, I'm sure, with his forehand, as he's going to knock in the birdie. That puts him down to right there next to Jerimie Gates and yourself on this front 9.
Yep. Me and Justin here will clean up our pars as everyone else has already walked away with the hole. And as you can see, it's not, you got a nice big pine there and some kind of thicker shrubbery, so it does kind of keep you from pushing too far in there.
That's going to be some good news. That's going to do it here for our front 9 as we see some highlights. Take a look at the scores. It is Jerimie Gates that's leading things at 5 under, but yourself and Matt Gibbons not too far behind, just a stroke separating y'all from the leader. Clean card for Jerimie Gates too as well. Only one not to get a bogey on this front 9. Shout out to that. Give him his props.
That was the one goal I had for this tournament too.
Yeah, and so that's going to do it for us. We will catch you on the back 9, however, so stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.